Got the Harley done, got it inspected, can't ride. Let me turn the camera around. Rain day. It's been raining like crazy. Plus I have one more problem to solve. Down here on the saddlebag right there, I took the lock out. Both locks were getting bad. They just, you know, aren't working quite right. Let me see if I have the camera set up right. Okay. Both of the locks have been getting bad, and the bike doesn't have that many miles on, 37,000 or so, but there's a lot of riding on it, and I think the locks back there are just in vibration maybe. So here's the original lock. They don't work. You lube them, they still, you got to play with them, they catch. I'm sick of them. So got on JP Cycles, where I always order my Harley parts, and I have that bike in there, so I put saddlebag locks. Well, saddlebags will come up, so I think I put locks for saddlebags. You always want to put that first. Come right up for those saddlebags. That's the fiberglass ones for the 1970. Come up. It showed the whole kit. This has a big arm on it that catches. There's a piece on the lid, and then it catches on it, and it goes in like this. Then when you lock it, it goes up and holds on to the lid. There's a bracket comes down. Looked at it, they have the kit right there, $35 each. I'm like, you're telling me $70 they want for those two locks. They're giving me these again. I don't need them, and there's a lot of other parts they're giving me I don't need, I already have. So I'm paying for this piece here and the key. I'm going to be paying $70. I said, I don't think so, you know. So I thought, I know I've seen locks like this. Really raining hard now. So I get out in a hardware store, lumber store, and I start looking. I look and look. I don't know what you call these. I always thought they were locked for like sliding glass doors, you know, in a display case or maybe something like that. I just couldn't figure it out. Happened to see them. And here, it's a drawer, utility lock. And that's exactly it. All the same parts, the lock. The only thing is, it has different sizes. This is 3/4. I think they have 1/2 inch and maybe another size. 3/4. I have a 3/4 hole in that bike. So I don't like to modify it unless I really have to. But I got 3/4, got two of them. Two of these, $14 a piece with tax. You can't beat that. $14 compared to $70. So you get this. It has a straight piece. You get 2 keys with each one. And there's lock, there's unlock, whichever way you want it. Now, I can't take this piece off because it has, they give you an extra piece for there that's like offset. You can turn it either way, but it has a star hole in it. So instead of trying to modify this hole to that star, I am just going to put it on here. And the reason I'm putting it on this side is because if you look at the lock on the top, the original, the new lock's longer, which is fine because that bracket comes down. It's a good long bracket. So I'll put it on the inside. I'll have to maybe try to put a little clamp on it, clamp it on there somehow, then try it in there, make sure that this is up and down. Now if I look at it straight like that, I want to have it about, when it's locked, about like this. This should be about straight. It shouldn't be way over like that. And then another thing, I can check real quick. I hope this is right. On the package I seen something, and we'll see if it works. I got 2 of them. on the package they show a key and they have a number, 604. They had a lot of different numbers. I found another 604, and I think it's the key so that you want to open a saddlebag. We'll see how that works. Yep. So 604, if you get them both 604, one key will fit both of them. You don't have to say, well, which is right, which is left. On the original key, I had two, one for each side, and I stamped them right and left. Now I don't have to. Now I got 4 keys for them. But for $14 compared to $70, that's what I'm saying. There's so many ways you can save money. This is a little work, and it's what the heck? It's raining today anyway. So what happened was, after I got the bike inspected, I went for another ride. I looked back, the lid off the side saddlebags hanging way over. And I thought, how'd that come open? I know I locked it. Well, that's going bad, and it's like not holding it right. I did everything I could, and these keys even, the original, it wears out in there, in here. Right at this end, where the opposite of the key, in here. They have like a little rubber bushing or something maybe, and it wore, and then this has a lot of play. You can see the key isn't even straight. It's like in an angle. It just went helter-skelter. So that's what I'm going to be doing now, is changing that up, putting it all together. One big warning when you're working on these locks, if you ever use them for something, I took the screw, and there's a lock washer on here, and if you watch, you have the key, or if you turn this without the key or whatever, this will slide right out. And if this is down, you can see them right in there. I don't want to mess with them, but there's 5, sometimes there's 6 little like metal pieces in there, and that's what allows this key to open it. If you drop them, if they come out, it ain't a simple thing to put them back in. I think this one has 5, some have 6. You have to have them in the right order, and if you drop them, you're going to have to play and play and play with that to get it back. You imagine how many combinations of putting those back in those 5 or 6 slots. How many? You know, you can be one off. Maybe somebody knows a way. I was working with the old one, and I dropped them, and I tried, and I just about had it where I could, but it was still catching. I think I had it, but be aware of that. Once you, now, come on, it's got to come out. I'm afraid to pull on it. There it is. But once you have this apart, and what I have to do is, you can see this little part I was talking about. Right here. You can see that one's for a quarter turn, but I have to have it, you can put it in 4 different positions. I have to have it in the right position for the key to go in right, so the key is straight up and down like I want it. So when you take this off, now this will slide. You can see how it moves. That'll slide right out of there. So you hold that in, put a piece of tape across it, whatever. But if you put tape across it, then you can't put the key in and see, is that the way I want it? So be really careful with that. Do not let that come out, that inside part come out. So I'm working on the saddlebags. I have the first one done. And what I did was, I was going to braze it, and then I thought I'm going to weld it. But this is my new lock I bought, and they give you this long arm and then a short one. I used the long one, and what I did was, that goes in the saddlebag the way the bike's setting like this, and I put this hook on there. Now that's my hook, but the problem is, this on this lock is different than my old lock. The opening's different. So I take this screw out, take the lock off, and I work with just this strap. And I line up those 2 holes perfect. And I took a lot of measurements, and I found this goes by the middle of where the lock goes. so does this tap. So that's what I went by. Then I turn it back and I placed it, and you can see a gap over here. I put it as close as I could to that gap right there, and I can see just a little bit of a gap through there. I weld this back side. I clamp these together. I have them off the lock. I clamp this together and I put a bead of weld on the back side. Now I have to have this open, so I take a hacksaw and I go right up across that, follow it, and what I did is I did it on the other one, is I get this top piece and I cut up across there and I just take it off. Now I have my gap and I don't need this. I just take it off, remove it. But one other problem is, this is my original lock, this is a new one, and if I line them up, you can see the new one's a lot longer. So now when I put it on it and I have my hook on there, my hook is too far down to catch a latch. So I simply took these two pieces, put it in a vise, and just tap this hook that way towards the key. And I bent it over a little bit, and then this didn't kind of come with it, so I took a crescent wrench, put on it, and just tweaked it over to match. And you'll see after that I put it on and tried it. Works fantastic. So let me set up the camera and show the finished product. And if you can see right back at this end of the bag, the hook and the key, when it comes out, it's straight up and down. I put it in and turn left, the latch comes down and up is locked. What I did was I had to put a longer bolt in here because now I'm going through this hook and the original thing. The bolt wasn't long enough. I had a hard time figuring out the bolt. Never thought it's a, you know, I'm thinking Harley, it's American, it's metric, because these locks are from, probably from China. Finally figured it out, so I just put a nut on a bolt, put it in, tightened it, then put this nut down against there to hold it, and it locks it. Then you have this back here to tighten, and this plate digs into the saddlebag. So to try it, you can see this underside of the saddlebag. It has a big thick cushion there to really seal, to make it watertight. And these bags, ever since I've got the bike, this piece wore real bad and it was loose, and I brazed. I think I got somebody to, no, I welded that. That's right, it's welded it and filed it and made it like new. That was a good while back. But these were always a little loose, always rattled a little bit because the locks were worn. They weren't tight. So now I got it down and I have to push down. You can hear it lock. I pull the key out and that thing is tight. It doesn't rattle, nothing. It's never been like that since I got it. Push it down, and as you can see inside, it has a quick release here. But that is fantastic. That is better than I hoped for. There, you can hear it lock. And so that's it. And when like I said, when I bought them two locks, they had a key there, a red key, and they had a number in it, so I got them both the same, so one key will open both of them. I don't have to get one key then get another one. But it just goes to show you, with some work and you stay with it and try different things, what do you got to lose? It cost me 14 bucks, and I got my new lockable saddlebags that are tight. These aren't coming off. Man, oh man, I didn't want to spend $70 for them. If I'd have had to, I would have, but I'm like, man, I don't want to spend 70 bucks. And I thought, maybe I can do this. It's worth a try. If I can't, then I'll buy them. It worked out. So now I know what to do on the other one. It'll go faster. I can get it done, and I am completely done with the bike. It's ready to go. Wow, what a day. What a day. Man, I couldn't figure out that bolt, and I'm trying different nuts, and I checked it with my thread thing, and I'm like, there's something wrong. I'm looking at it wrong. Took a break, long break, went in the house, went over, talked to the neighbors, come in. I'm standing there and I'm up by the lathe and I'm thinking I can cut threads on it. Maybe I can cut the thread I think it is, and I'm looking. I got a magnetic bar up there and I put tools on it. I had 2 bolts there and I'm looking, I'm thinking, man, them bolts look the same size. I thought, no way they'd fit. Brought one down, tried it, fit right in. I'm saying, I checked it, it's a metric, 6 millimeter metric with 1.0 thread. I said, that's it. And I have the bolts and everything, so oh, thank goodness that's done. Rained out again today. Tomorrow, Saturday, it's going to rain, so Sunday's supposed to finally start drying up. So I'll have to call my nephew and say probably Sunday or Monday we can go ride. Been a long process, always something. Thought I was done with it, and the bag lids, couldn't figure out why they're coming loose, but they just so worn and not solid. The clamp to pull it down tight, that'll do it. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.